Heaven. You know, a lot of people talk about heaven and what it may be and maybe what it looks like and what's there. But the Bible doesn't tell us a whole lot about heaven. It doesn't mention much about heaven. In fact, in the Bible it speaks 54 times about hell and only 18 times about heaven. And when it talks about heaven, it's very brief. It's very short. And nowhere in the Bible does it go into details about heaven. In fact, you know, Paul went to the third heaven, and when he came back, he was told not to talk about it. There's words that he cannot utter, or words that he cannot talk about it. Okay? And Paul waited 14 years before he talked about any part of what he experienced. But then Jesus said something about heaven that I think gives us a very good description of what heaven is. Amen. And once he said, Jesus was talking to others, disciples, and he said, well, what is heaven? What do we expect when we die and leave this earth and go to heaven? My friend here, you've been here 1 year? Yes, sir. And this is your home for now, yes, right? Mm-hmm. And you know, heaven, the Bible says, is like a costly pearl. And I thought, why a costly pearl? You have diamonds, you have gold, you have silver, you have rubies, and they're all sparkling and they're beautiful. Mm-hmm. But you take a pearl, it's okay. But it's not beautiful, it's okay. And I thought, well, why a pearl, Jesus? Why did you say heaven was like a costly pearl? Mm-hmm. And in America, before I was a preacher, I was a police officer. Okay, with a badge, and was a police officer, and I would do off-duty sometimes in jewelry stores, kind of watch and guard the jewelry stores, keep people from stealing things. And there was a man that was a jeweler, and I asked him because my wife asked for pearls to one day give to our daughter later in years when she turned 16 years old. And I asked the jeweler, I said, well, how do I know that I'm getting a good pearl and not something that's cheap and someone is ripping me off? And he said, well, let me show you something. He got a cloth and he laid it on his counter. And it was a black cloth, much like the shirt that he's wearing here. Okay? And he took a pearl out from under the counter. That's where they always keep the expensive stuff, under the counter, right? So he takes the pearl out. He puts it on the cloth. He rolls it around. The pearl was white when he laid it down, or kind of a cream color. But as he rolled it around on the cloth, the color of his shirt, it turned smoke gray, much like his shirt. Okay? So it turned colors. And I said, was this a magic trick? What are you doing? He said, no. He said, now watch this. Then he took a red cloth, much like the shirt that he's wearing, and he laid it on the counter. He took the pearl and he rolled it around, the same pearl. He rolled it around, okay? And it turned pink, much like his shirt. And I said, I don't understand. Why is the pearl turning colors? Why is it doing this? He said, because it's a costly pearl, just like Jesus said heaven would be a costly pearl. And what I learned was this. Heaven and us, we adapt to each other. Amen. And it's our home. Yeah. It's just for us. You may like a mansion made of brick. You might like a mansion made of wood. You might like a mansion made of stucco. Okay? But whatever you like, God already knows. And He's made that personal for you. And He will give you the key. He will give you the deed. And that's your home. That's your home. Not France, not Paris, not Philippines, not the United States. And when we get there, we'll say, I am finally home. Amen. Amen. And all that I've done for the cause of Christ was worth it. Amen. You know, Jesus tells us that we are the salt of the earth and the light of the world. Yes. What is it that salt and light have in common? What do both have in common? What are both representing? When you introduce salt or you introduce light, it changes its environment. Now the environment's different. The taste is different. The darkness is light. Our job here is not to worry about working as much as going to heaven and taking someone with us. Taking a friend with us, taking a loved one, taking a son, a daughter, a sister, a brother, a mother. Tell them about Jesus. You must be born again. Not confirmed. No. The Catholics say you're confirmed. Nicodemus asked Jesus, how do you go to heaven? What did Jesus say? You must be born again. Be born again. And that is our job, to be born again. And then to take someone with us and introduce them to Jesus and change our environment. No matter if we're in Paris, no matter where we're at. Maybe tonight we need to go to see your neighbor, right? Change our environment. Probably not, right? But that is something that I wanted to share with you guys and give you, I guess, encouragement about heaven and what's coming, what we're here for, what we're doing, and that it is worthwhile. But I also want to give you a time, if you'd like, to ask any questions before tomorrow of me. Anyone? Everyone's shy.